Portland has 3 timeouts left. The Lakers have 2. Bryant to Shaq.
What's the one word that describes how your relationship with Kobe started in L.A.?
It began with a lot of patience. Kobe has always been one of those guys to want to compete, want to be the best. He told me one time he was going to be the Will Smith of the NBA. He told me that at 18 years old. I was like, okay, young fella. But I saw something in him that, like, you know what, this kid definitely has a potential. Like, you know how they always say people are in the gym a couple hours before, a couple hours after? That definitely was Kobe Bryant. Man, I'm a
First
veteran.
to get there, last to leave.
Yeah, because I'm a veteran. Practice is at 10. I'm arriving at 9:45. That's just
9:45, 9:55. Come on, you're giving yourself a little credit. 9:59:30.
Right, 9:55. So, I mean, but he was always there. It was a game against Utah. I'm gonna say it's his rookie or second year. You know, we're getting pummeled in the playoffs, and nobody wants to take the last 3 shots. He takes them. They're all air balls. If you remember me walking off the court with him. I said, you know what, everybody's laughing at you now, but one day they're going to fear you taking these shots. And then it became sort of a respectful power struggle.
So from a patient relationship to
a respectful power struggle. Like, people always talk about the relationship, and you have to understand that leaders always have 2 difficult tasks. You have to focus on the relationship, or you have to focus on the task. Early, I focused on the relationship, and we got swept. Phil Jackson comes along, you know, makes us read books. You know, we have different way about doing things. So now I focus on the task. And studies show that when you focus on the task, relationships start to dwindle away. My sole purpose was to win at any cost. And when you're deemed the leader, sometimes you have to make tough decisions. If you tell him he can't do something, he's going to do it. You know, if you keep pushing buttons, it's going to make him play at that next level. And I needed him to play at that level. He needed me to play at that level. So sometimes we competed with each other. And if we competed with each other, the best little guy, the best big man competing with each other, trying to be the best, and do it inside a system, it spells, you know, success. You know, people always ask me about the relationship, and I have to correct them sometimes. I say, you guys talk as if we didn't win any championships. We won 3 out of 4. And if I had it all over to do again, I'd probably do it the same way.
This is it, fellas. You work all year long for it, man. Shaq the man, most dominant player in the world.
We stormed through the league 3 times in a row. But when everything started to shift a little bit and things started getting topsy-turvy.
Not everything's going to work out, you know, with the perfect ending.
3 weeks ago, he wouldn't even acknowledge Kobe, wouldn't even mention his name.
He's been holding on to his hostility for Shaquille much too long.
There comes a point in time we got to part ways.
when you leave Los Angeles for Miami, you trying to tell me everything's cool between you and Kobe at that time?
Yes and no. I didn't want to leave, but being a veteran in the business of basketball, I realized that can't be two kings. And every great movie that I've seen, mafia movie, just put it in better terms, the younger boss always takes out the older boss. So I knew it was going to happen. And I said to myself, going into the finals, you know, I put together this super team. I brought in Gary Payton, I brought in Karl Malone, Kobe, myself. If we don't win, changes are going to have to be made. So I knew once we lost, I knew I was going to be in trouble. I didn't know how quick. It was like a week later, I'm sitting with Sharif and Miles and Shakir. We're eating cereal, and I see on ESPN that Mitch Kupchak says Shaquille O'Neal is open for trade talks. I was upset because I thought that they would give me a little bit more respect and at least call me on the phone and say, hey, we're thinking about moving you. The way they did it kind of upset me. And that's why when I went to Miami, I had a lot of harsh things to say. But it's business.
So where are you two now?
We speak. We're cool. You know, I saw him at the ESPYs. Went to the last games. every time I see his daughters, I was like, hello, I'm Uncle Shaq. And his oldest daughter said, you say that every time you see us. So, NBA stands for nothing but actors. So the beef that we have there will never spill over into real life. I see him with his beautiful wife and his lovely daughters, I'm not going to go throw a drink in his face. So, hey, what's up, Kobe? How you doing? And the times we had were special times, times that'll never be forgotten. And, a lot of people forget that 15-1 in the playoffs. If it wasn't for Allen Iverson stepping over Tyronn Lue, we'd probably be the best NBA team ever to win a championship. And we still have the record. I was a little nervous last year when Golden State went 73-9. I was like, man, they're going to break our record. But they didn't. So, two guys that hate each other still have that record. 15-1 to win a championship. And that'll never be broken.
Hated each other.
Well, two guys who they thought hated each other. Look at Ernie. He's a little lawyer today. What is this, Ernie, a deposition?
So there was their episode?
No, there's no hate, Ernie. No hate.